Have you ever wondered what happens when someone tells you you can't go there? For some, that's not a warning. It's an invitation. Today, we're diving into the thrilling history of Forbidden Voyages' epic journeys that defied kings, empires, and even the known laws of nature to redraw the map of the world. These weren't just trips. They were acts of rebellion that forever changed the course of human history. Let's start with a name you probably know, Ferdinand Magellan. In the early 16th century, the world was fiercely divided between Spain and Portugal. The Treaty of Tordesillas had literally drawn a line across the globe, splitting the undiscovered world between them. Magellan, a skilled Portuguese navigator, believed he could find a westward route to the Spice Islands, a route that would belong to Spain. His own king, Manuel I of Portugal, rejected his plan outright. He saw Magellan as a traitor and did everything in his power to stop him, but Magellan was stubborn. He renounced his Portuguese nationality and pitched his audacious idea to the young Spanish king. Charles I, the king, eager to one-up his Portuguese rivals, agreed. In 1519, Magellan set sail with 5 rickety ships and a skeptical crew. They faced mutinies, starvation, and storms of unimaginable ferocity. Magellan himself wouldn't survive the journey, but one of his ships, the Victoria, limped back to Spain 3 years later, completing the first ever circumnavigation of the Earth. This forbidden voyage proved the world was round and shattered the geographical illusions of the time. It was an act of defiance that paid off in a way no one could have imagined. Now, let's journey forward a couple of centuries to Captain James Cook and his secret mission. In 1768, Cook embarked on his first voyage aboard HMS Endeavour. Publicly, the mission was scientific, to sail to Tahiti and observe the transit of Venus across the sun. This was a huge astronomical event, and scientists hoped it would help them calculate the distance from the Earth to the sun. But Cook carried a second secret set of orders from the British Admiralty, sealed in an envelope he was only to open after his astronomical work was done. These secret orders were the real prize. They commanded him to sail south, in secret, in search of the rumored Terra Australis Incognita, the great southern continent that geographers believed must exist to balance the landmasses of the northern hemisphere. This was a direct challenge to the Dutch, who had charted parts of Australia's western, northern, southern coastlines and named it New Holland. The British wanted a piece of the action, and they were willing to do it clandestinely. Cook's expedition was a masterpiece of espionage disguised as science. He meticulously charted the coastline of New Zealand and then became the first European to map the eastern coast of Australia, claiming it for Britain. His forbidden, secret mission didn't find the mythical giant continent, but it did pave the way for British colonization and fundamentally altered the destiny of an entire continent. Not all forbidden voyages were about defying kings or rival nations. Some were about defying the very limits of human endurance. Think about the race to the South Pole in the early 20th century. Antarctica was the ultimate forbidden frontier, a place of lethal cold, crushing ice, and terrifying emptiness. It wasn't forbidden by law, but by nature itself. 2 men became symbols of this obsessive quest: the Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen and the British naval officer Robert Falcon Scott. It became a dramatic and ultimately tragic race. Amundsen was pragmatic and meticulously prepared. He learned from the Inuit, using sled dogs and fur clothing. Scott, on the other hand, put his faith in new technology, motorized sledges that quickly failed in the extreme cold and the sheer grit of his men, who ended up man-hauling their heavy sleds. Amundsen's team reached the South Pole on December 14, 1911. They planted the Norwegian flag and left a tent with a letter for Scott. When Scott's exhausted party arrived over a month later, their discovery of the Norwegian flag was a soul-crushing blow. Their return journey was a slow, agonizing descent into starvation and frostbite. They perished just a few miles from a supply depot. Scott's diary, found with their frozen bodies, tells a heartbreaking story of courage against impossible odds. This race to a place forbidden by nature itself became a powerful, albeit tragic, legend of human ambition and the brutal reality of exploration. But what about voyages forbidden by ideology? Let's turn to the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Space wasn't just a scientific frontier, it was a battleground for communist and capitalist ideologies. every launch was shrouded in secrecy. When Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space in 1961, the world was stunned. The Soviets had achieved the ultimate forbidden voyage, breaking through Earth's atmosphere and proving their technological superiority. The entire Soviet space program was a clandestine operation. Cosmonauts were hidden from the public until after their missions were successful. Failures were covered up, and disasters were state secrets. The story of Valentin Bondarenko is a chilling example. He was a young cosmonaut in training who died in a fire in a hypersure pure oxygen chamber, a full 23 days before Gagarin's flight. His death was kept secret for over 2 decades. The pressure to beat the Americans created a culture where the program was pushed beyond safe limits. These cosmonauts were venturing into a new, unknown territory. But they were also navigating a world of political intrigue, where a single misstep, or even a tragic accident, could be erased from history. From Magellan circumnavigating a world owned by 2 empires to Cook's secret mission to claim a continent to the brutal race for the South Pole and the ideologically driven secrecy of the space. These stories show us that progress is often fueled by defiance. These explorers and innovators were told no, but they went anyway. They broke the rules, ignored the treaties, and pushed past the known limits of their time. Their voyages were risky, often fatal, and morally complex. They opened up new worlds, but they also led to conflict, colonization, and tragedy. Yet, it is this willingness to venture into the forbidden, to question the boundaries laid before us, that has consistently propelled humanity forward. It makes you wonder, what are the forbidden frontiers of our time? What boundaries, physical or intellectual, are we being told not to cross? And who are the rebels of today who will ignore the warnings and change the world for all of us? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the rebels and rule breakers who shaped our world. See you next time.